built, not bought. So I bought this car and it is genuinely terrible. Wow. Hey, Cheetos. Diet Dr. Pepper.
Got a whole meal.
That is wholesome. You are wealthier than anybody who just has money because you have something they can't buy. Talent and imagination. What's up, people? I have the most epic build of my life coming up. So naturally, I bought the cheapest Porsche Boxster in America. It is a, 1999 Porsche Boxster. It has a blown motor because it overheated in stop and go traffic allegedly from the past owner. And this is how you naturally do this. It doesn't run, and I bought it for $2,000, which is brilliant. Or it's not, and it's kind of like, welcome everybody to the dumbest YouTube channel, and this is the newest addition to my hoopty fleet. Which means I'll end up taking it to a mechanic and finding out everything that's wrong with it and how it's gonna cost me gajillions of dollars, but somehow I'll make it back on ad revenue. Because people are sadistic on the internet and they like watching poor Hoovy. Be nice to Hoovy. Hoovy, come on, man. Let's do something that comes out positive. Anyway, so I bought this car and it is genuinely terrible. It is truly genuinely terrible. I mean, it's not bad. It's got most of the panels. The engine doesn't work, but you know, I mean, you could make it something else. Check out this. It's got a fiberglass nose. And I know I'm distracted right now talking about how terrible this is. I mean, this is genuinely terrible. Look at that. It probably looked good in the past. I'm not knocking it. I really like the guy that had before me. He gave me a nice deal. And I was looking forward to these wheels because I was going to stick them on my 944 because that might be kind of cool. They're not period correct, I know. But then I sold the 944 and some really nice people got it. But now that means I'm going to have to go find another one. And they didn't look good on the 928. I already tried that. So I'm digressing. I'm all over the place. But it's kind of fun. So I got this really super jank Porsche. I mean, is this maximum jank, Josh? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we should look at this. Look at this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait, this doesn't open. I should. Is it this thing? Oh, I could open it. Hold on. What? Wait, I should, hey, I need to be intelligent on this today, Josh. I should stay on point. So here's the deal, guys. I bought this because I need this car as well as another car that's completely unrelated and totally different than this one to build something. This doesn't work. Wow, was that supposed to be electric? Oh, is there a manual release, I hope? So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna use a certain amount of this car to build my epic build coming up. Also, does this look like Kevin Hart and The Rock? You know, they always put chains on each other and they talk crap to each other? Yeah, that's what my life is like, walking around with jumper cables. Let's see. I would hook up the jumper cable so we could release the hood with the solenoid, but you can't because the battery's up in here. Josh, what do I do? It's not really open, it's just the nose is so jank. Wait, this.
I tried that.
It didn't do anything? Oh, it's gotta do something. Oh, this is gonna do something. Oh, right. Yes. Look at it. Wow. Hey, Cheetos. As opposed to the things that power your Mazda.
Doritos.
Oh, what else we got in here? Diet Dr. Pepper.
Got a whole meal.
That is wholesome. Got that. Not gonna need that. What's in here? I don't know. Is there anything that Gina's Garage could use for the Lycan? Oh, there's the battery. Oh, this is gonna be great. I don't have to be safe. I'm not influencing thousands of people right now. Do you think in about a year I'm just gonna become nothing but charmingly sarcastic and not even know what normal is anymore?
No comment.
This is what I do with my life. I bought a terrible Porsche for $2,000 and I think I'm gonna build something amazing out of it. Now, the thing I think I'm gonna build, I've been wanting to do since before I could even drive. And I was inspired by a car that came out, God, I don't know, 45, 50 years ago now, something like that. 50 years ago? Yeah, 50 years ago to build my dream. And I know that car inspired a lot of other people around the world. Oh, and also everybody makes the joke, but I just don't think this would be good. Yeah, no, that doesn't feel good. We're not gonna do that. Okay, so I'm looking forward to building this with you all guys, and I'll be more intelligent when I start building it, but right now I just think this is absurd. And also, it's been a crazy day with Gina's Garage and nothing but phone calls on Monday, so I'm being absurd. It's more fun. Why did I hook up the battery? Oh, we'll see if it turns over. All right, let's do this. It doesn't really matter because I'll give you guys another hint. I'm not gonna use the Porsche engine. Oh, everybody's like, LS swap, yes. No. All right, come on over. Let's try it out. Oh, check this out. It does have a short shift kit of some variety, which is good because the Porsche shifter from the factory is absolute garbage. Worse than Volkswagen. It clicks. You want to see the engine? It's got a mighty clicking. Man,
Oh, look at that. Boom.
yeah.
Quality camera.
I don't know if it'll even, it might be seized. The gauge is turned on and stuff. You think it's got a radio that works? The radio appears to be dead. Okay, well, Okay, so I got a short shift kit. I will lend you guys a tip. I will be using that short shift kit. Whoa! But it's not gonna be located in that part of the car. So I am excited about this. This is just a run-of-the-mill Boxster. It's not the S. So it has the 5-speed transaxle. It's a little weaker, but it's all right. You can, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, take the Porsche S transaxle and swap it out for this one, which is stronger and has a 6-speed. The wheels are nice. These are apparently the magnesium 18-inch wheels. So I'll probably end up selling them. I don't have anything that I think they look really good on, and I'm not going to use these wheels. I'm actually going to use smaller wheels, believe it or not. But you can definitely see the engine here. It's a shame that it overheated. And of course, I'll be parting it off and selling things and junking what I don't need. None of the body panels will stay. Obviously, the top will not be used, nor the windows or anything like that. And lots is getting cut out of it. So I was happy that I could buy it as cheaply as I did. It actually still has a clean title. So it's not a salvage vehicle, you know, from one of the big salvage type places. I don't need the engine. I don't need the wheels. I don't even need the interior. I don't need a whole lot on this car. But for $2,000, I can sell some of this stuff and probably easily recoup at least half that amount of money. And what I'm left with is a platform, suspension, wiring if I need it, shifter, a transaxle, and a title. And those things are very important and basically all I actually want out of this car. So I think it's a lot of fun. I like doing these builds. In all seriousness, I kind of was being a little edgy. Like I'm sort of just burning off steam. I hope you guys give me a break. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. I think a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into doing all the YouTube videos and the build and leading Genius Garage and all. But I love it, and I'm really excited about this. But I want to show you guys something. So Porsche makes a really great sports car. It's really fun. In fact, you can tell people enjoyed this once before. They were members of the PCA. Look at that, Josh.
What?
Oh, look at that, Porsche Club of America. That eagle looks kind of imposing, a little too, well, we won't go there. But anyway, Porsche Club of America, I'm sure a lot of people there have fun. I'm just not a club kind of guy. People ask me about that occasionally. But where I'm going with this is, Porsche Boxsters, I think, are the one of, if not the best car to build something else out of. You know, back in the day with kit cars, you know, like Volkswagen Beetles and stuff like that, people would take an old Beetle, take the pan, the engine, drivetrain, and buy some cool looking fiberglass body and stick on it. And that was kind of the old days of kit cars. But nowadays, something that's important to me that I really think young people should know is the whole thing of built, not bought. You know, because right now we're really at the apex or antithesis of the supercar and hypercar world, where if you look at it, you know, kind of 1970s, what were supercars? There was the Lamborghini Countach, there was the Ferrari 512 Berlinetta Boxster, and those were kind of, you know, that was it. Mid-engine V12, and yeah, I know the Miura and everything going back in, but it started back then, and they were big, complex driver's car. You had to drive stick, there were no driver aids, it was a so-called real man's race car for the street, and it was really cool. By the 80s, things got more developed. I mean, you had the Ferrari F40 that was production car over 200 miles an hour, twin turbo V8, monocoque carbon chassis. And that was amazing. By the 90s, things got even better. I mean, 90s cars were fast, tons of turbos, still stick shifts, still awesome. But by the time we got into the Murcielago, that's when paddle shifting started. And cars started to get refined enough in the supercar and hypercar world that basically they have gone to what they've evolved to now. And that's something that anybody with a lot of money can go buy and drive and flex on social media and Instagram. It does not in any way make them a car person. It does not make them enthusiasts, does not make them a sportsman, and it darn well doesn't mean they have 1 ounce of talent for driving or building anything, which sucks. Because for me and all the real car people out there and any race car driver, it really gets to where you just want to be like, all the time when you see these schmucks in their new supercars and hypercars out flexing on Instagram in front of the club. They can't drive and they just suck. And the cars are neat, but also we're building cars nowadays that, are they art or are they just overly complex, overly expensive things that you'll never actually see the top speed on? They're not any good on a track, and they're for basically wealthy people that want to flex in the future now, when what was cool in the past were rough and tumble people with talent driving really cool craftsmanship art supercars that were simple and pure. So I went into that whole thing because, yeah, I like cars. Supercars and hypercars are neat. I think they suck if they have paddle shifting, and I only like stick because I'm a driver. I like to build stuff. I like having to do something and get the reward of doing it well. And if I don't do it well, that's okay. I'll get better. But paddle shifters rob you from that. And Ferrari and Lamborghini don't care about that anymore. All they care about is making money, and it's nothing about the flex. So I went into this whole long dictation because this car has some wonderfully developed suspension and platform and a lot of things in it. And I bought it for nothing. I'd say I bought it for a song, but there are songs that are worth a heck of a lot more money than what I bought this for. Anyway, the point of it is there's songs that are worth more than what I bought this car for. It was practically nothing. And a lot of people can afford that. And what I want to do with this build coming up, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, you guys gotta stay tuned. I'm gonna announce it at the beginning of July. It's just now June. I'm gonna build my dream. I gave you guys a big hint. Supercars, the hypercars. And I think you know by now what I'm all about, racing and building and being a real driver and, you know, driving town and toe hill, double clutching and all that sort of thing. And I like things a little edgy, a little dangerous. So I'm gonna build something that doesn't exist, inspired by something which there is only one of. And this vehicle and what's in it will give me some of the things I need to make it. So what this is will end up being approximately 35% of my finished product. And tomorrow I'm driving to the Chicago area to buy another car I'll show you guys that I'm only gonna use another part of. And then the rest I'm gonna make. So I want you guys to stay tuned for this, because for all the young people out there that dream of having a supercar, a hypercar, the most avant-garde, insane looking, awesome thing you've ever seen that just smokes everybody, no one can top it. Well, then you should watch this, because that's what it's gonna be. And for all the people out there that somewhere, whether they say it or not, is tired of all the schmucks flexing in hypercars and supercars that have no driving talent, they don't do a darn thing for the world, like that idiot that wrecked the Gambala Porsche Carrera GT in Manhattan during the lockdown. He's a talentless, rich idiot, and we're all sick of him. So I wanna build something because I wanna show everybody out there that we can build our dreams. We can build something better than those cars because they're handmade and amazing, and we have the ability, we have a blank canvas. There's almost no rules. And when you're able to build something and you have the talent to create it, to imagine it, to engineer it, to fabricate it, and to drive it, and then you make that dream real, whatever it is, you are wealthier than anybody who just has money, because you have something they can't buy: talent and imagination. So I hope this build is going to inspire a lot of people, but this Porsche Boxster is going to get dismantled, just like the one for Genius Garage. And I will tell you this is not going to be another Lykan hypercar like what Genius Garage has. That the Lykan Hypersport body we have is one of one. We're not making molds of it. And this is going to be a one of one for me, and I'm going to coach build the body. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I hope this inspires you to build something, and that the future can be yours too. We just have to use what's in here and these two things right here. Maybe not so much of this. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and naturally that you will subscribe, but please click that bell so I can continue to bring you wholesome and entertaining automotive content. Also, a huge thanks to Avalon King ceramic coating. They're supporting this channel and making this all possible. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to using it on all of my vehicles, including my old dirt bike. Ceramic coating bonds directly to the surface of your paint, trim, and plastics to give a long-lasting shine that beats all waxes. It lasts for years and it's easy to maintain. I've got it on my Viper right now, and my car has never looked this good. So give them a try. Again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to see you next time.